my front porch artists. Today I'm going to show you how to make this Monet inspired Mother's Day card. In your kit you receive materials to make a card, much like this one for Mother's Day or another occasion, and then a bonus art piece right here with a mat. And so the art is the same, but the size is a little different, and then it comes with a different mat. And you also received an extra piece of cardstock to practice on. Your extra piece does not have the sticky tabs on the back. So if you want to start with that one, that's fine. Or if you want to do something different on it, that's fine too. It's up to you. So when you get your kit, divide it into two piles. This is your bonus art piece, and we'll set that aside for right now. This is your card. You can put the envelope aside, that is for later, and then you can put your card aside. The little pieces that came taped to your card will be used for both pieces. On the back you'll find the sticky tabs. That's how you attach it when you're finished to the gold mat. So you want to paint on the other side without those. And we'll divide these into two projects. So since the bonus project is a little bit bigger, I'm going to save these big leaves for that and two of the bigger Waterlily pieces for that one. You got some extras with this. You don't have to use them all, but they're just kind of fun to have. So those are extras. And then you also got your little buttons are already attached to sticky dots. Mine were not when I put this kit together, but then we decided to make it simpler for you guys and to already have them on sticky, on a glue dot. So yours will be on a little strip like this. I think you have 3 or 4 of them. And then, yeah, you can put those on later. So just put that whole strip aside. You also have a strip of glue dots that looks like, it comes off a roll, it looks like that. And you got that on a piece of paper. So you will use that at one point as well. So you won't need that to put your watercoloring onto the mat. So if this sticks a little bit to the washi tape, don't worry about it, and you won't need all of them. So if a little one goes there, you really only need about 3 each. So let's start. So I have a little bit of water here, and then I need something to blot it off on. Now when I opened up my kit, I had the brown paper, and I like to use paper to cover my surface. So you can just open up your kit and paint right on that. That works well. So I'm going to show you how to make the resist, which is this little white ovals here. That is resist. And when you do crayon on paper and then cover it with watercolor, the crayon resists the watercolor. So it's really neat. And you can do a whole bunch of these or just a few. Let's see, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm just going to kind of stick to what I did for my other art, and they can even go off the side a little bit. The interesting thing is once you do them, you can't really see them too well, but that's okay. All right, and then you'll see the background of my watercolor is mostly blues and greens. Now when Monet painted, he made sure to include some light. On this bigger one, I did a strip of yellow across when I was done, and so you might want to try that too. But I would kind of forget about these outside colors right here, and you might even want to put a piece of tape over them. You can just go like this, just so you don't accidentally go into those. And I don't want to use these. You really want to stick to these middle ones. So one thing I like to do when I'm doing watercoloring and I'm going to blend a lot of colors is just to put plain water on my watercolor. Oh, you can see I didn't rinse my brush very well last time. I got a little bit of blue paint out. That's okay. It's all good. Watercolor is so much fun. All right, there we go. Now let's start adding color. Let's see. It's blue, so I'm going to start adding some in. And as long as I'm using the same color, I don't have to rinse my brush. I can just dip it back in. But as soon as I change color, I want to rinse it back in, swish it out, and then I'm going to dip into the green. Need a little more. Sometimes you have to add a lot of water at the beginning when your watercolors are dry so that you can get that kind of melted. Now, this is very green water, but you'll see we have lily pads on here, don't we? So these kind of look like lily pads. So I'm gonna add a little green in there. They don't have to look exactly like it. And you can go back in and add a little more water. A little more, that's a little more green than I would like. And what do you think happens when I add some yellow? I'm trying to stick, remember, to these 3 colors in here. If I start adding the other colors, it's going to start looking brown, and that's not the look I want. So let's add a little yellow here. And we know what happens when we add yellow to blue. And this looks like a little bit of sunshine coming across that water, doesn't it? Now don't worry if your paper curls up like this. I could have taped it down, but it'll turn out just fine. All right, and you can keep going with this. I'm gonna add a little more yellow there, and maybe a little more green over here. That's looking pretty green. I think I want to add some more blue down here. And we give you really high quality watercolor paper. It's very thick and it can hold a lot of water. So you can have fun with this. You can even go in, I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm just going to take a little bit of this paper and then look what happens. We're going to do this in June. If you get our summer subscription with our whole box of kits, you can pull a little bit off. And that's kind of fun too. Just to put a little bit of different, maybe we'll do that and make that look like dappled sunlight, which is kind of dotted. There's all kinds of different things you can do. All right, so we're gonna let that dry and come back in a little bit when it's dry, and I'll show you how to add your lilies. We are back. I was only gone a couple of minutes, and you know what I did? Instead of waiting for it to dry, because I'm a grown-up, I used a hairdryer. I laid it on the counter and hit it with a hairdryer. I mean, not hit it, but I dried it with a hairdryer. So if you have a grown-up around and you can do that to speed it up, feel free. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is take a couple of our glue dots that came on the strip and decide where I want a water lily to be. You can see how I did 2 right out here like this, and then a little one just kind of in the background. Remember, things look smaller when they're far away. So this would be maybe the same size, but it's further away. So the perspective makes the one in front look the biggest, this one medium, this one small, although these 2 look about the same. All right, so we're gonna take a glue dot. I would like 1 right there. I think I'm just gonna do 2 on this one. You're the artist, you can decide. And then I'm gonna do the big one here, and all I'm gonna do for this is take the pink tissue oval, and I'm just gonna bunch it up a little bit like that. And then the glue dot stays sticky, so I'm gonna put it just like that. And then this one's a little further back. I'm gonna do the same kind of thing and do that one back here. Now the back of the lily, the glue dot stays sticky. So you can take one of these leaf shapes and just tuck it underneath, and it sticks right to that one. It sticks to the glue dot that's behind it. I'm just gonna tear this one because I don't want it all to be exactly looking the same. And you can leave it whole or tear it, and I'm gonna put that one underneath as well. And it just sticks right to the glue dot. Now, remember the one in the front is bigger because it's closer, so I'm gonna take the bigger button and put it on the bigger lily, and the smaller button in the back and put it on the smaller lily. All right, and there we have, it's coming together. Don't you think that's starting to look like a Monet painting? Now your mat is already down on your Mother's Day card. So, and I made the card so it opens like this. The inside is blank so that you can write your own message. But watch on Instagram and we'll give you some ideas of what to write inside. So the back is messy, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna peel off the release paper. The glue dot stays on, the release paper comes off, and then I'm gonna put it in the middle of the mat. I just hold it above it like this and look straight down. My head will be in the way of the camera if I do that. Try to line it up and then press the corners down. And there we have it. You're going to repeat the same painting techniques for your larger piece of art. You paint on the side other than the glue dots. Put this aside. You'll do your circles with the crayon. Your painting technique, you have larger leaves. You have at least one more button for a big one up front, and then you could do smaller ones in the back. And then you have a whole practice piece, so you could have even more fun with it. Try something different. Maybe try some of the other colors. You have fun with that, and I know your moms are going to love your front porch art project.